What's going on? This is Multi-Styles back with another YouTube video. How have y'all been? Me? I want to know what your biggest fear is. Yeah, I've been sitting there thinking about what is everyone's biggest fear, because we all got different kind of fears. And I think like the biggest fear is levels to that. You know what I'm saying? There's like total devastation, biggest fear. There's like little tiny thing, biggest fear, you know what I mean? And then it's like family, biggest fear, you know, stuff like that. So what I want to know is, what is your biggest fear? Because mine for the longest time was something really crazy and something I had no control over, and something that I should have never been worried about, because if that's gonna happen, then that's gonna happen. There's nothing I can do about it if something like that was to happen. You know what I mean? I can hope and pray and all that, but if it's meant to happen, that would happen. And that was what my biggest fear was, you know what I'm saying? I know I ain't said it yet, but let's continue on to what my biggest fear is now, because I think that's far more important than what my biggest fear was for like the majority of my life. Now, my biggest fear right now is something terrible happening to all my family, and I'm left here all by myself with no family or anything of that. That is absolutely my number one biggest fear. I think majority of the people, if they really think about it, that would be their number one fear. Of course, everyone might not agree with that, but as far as me, that is my number one fear. Now, another fear I have is the fear of flying. I'm an absolute bitch ass when it comes to getting on an airplane. I got on an airplane one time, and they said you'll get used to it. And the whole time I was up there, I felt like I was going to die. If you've ever been in a situation where you actually thought you were going to die, well, multiply that times 2 hours, because I was on the plane for 2 hours, and the whole entire time I was on the plane, I had that feeling. Mind you, I've been in situations where people were shooting, and that to me was more scarier because it was 2 hours long. The other situation was like pop, 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 oh God, they're shooting, and then you run away and then everything's good. That was 2 hours there, 2 hours back. I really wanted to take a rental and drive back from where I was to not have to get on that damn plane. And see, the thing about airplanes is when they're going down, it's not instant, because people be like, oh, the car is way more dangerous. At least I got some semblance of control, and a lot of times it's instant. It's just like, bam, you're dead, you know what I'm saying? But with airplanes, you got to sit there and think about it for like a half hour before you actually crash. That's just too, I'll probably have a heart attack before I even hit the damn ground. You know what I'm saying? So needless to say, when I went on my vacation last year, I wasn't hearing that shit about getting on a plane. So we took a train all the way down to Florida, which took 27 hours. Yes, I was on a plane. I said plane. I was on a train for like 27 hours. And I would do it all over again, because I'm sorry, I just don't do the plane thing. That was the most miserable 27 hours you can ever think of. It wasn't comfortable, but I felt just a little bit more safe on the ground than being up in the airplane. And yes, it costs more. My wife was absolutely furious that I refused to get on the plane. Now, the number one thing for my whole entire life, majority of my life, that I had fear of is an asteroid smashing into the earth. Either an asteroid or a comet, because it's nothing you can do. You actually got to sit there and watch this thing in the horizon for months before it hits. So you get to sit there and think about the world just getting destroyed by this big giant rock. And look at that, the beat is fading away. So yes, asteroid and comet. And here's a Multi-Styles fun fact. Comets are so fast that 9 times out of 10, you won't know a comet hit until you feel the ground rumble or see a bright flash of light in the sky. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful to know? Peace out and much love. And tell me, what's your biggest fear?